Welcome back to the Natty Daddy Experience. You rocking with your boy Natty Rob on his job. And today we have a young woman by the name of Kierra, who she's going to tell her story on how she went from robbing banks to owning her own business. Spoiler alert, she did her time for the crime already. Kierra, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. I love I love how I went from robbing banks. I gotta use that. I
Yeah, you
gotta
gotta
use that.
you gotta sell it a little bit.
That's good. I
But no,
gotta
I
use
mean
that.
that's your story. You know what I'm saying? That's like motivation. It's a lot of women out here just like that.
Right.
Like who did that, and you can be inspiration to them that, even though you went through what you went through, you can turn your shit around and, make a name for
Yeah.
yourself out here. So
Yeah.
where are you from? Are you from South Carolina?
Yep. South Carolina. Yep.
Charleston?
Charleston. Charleston.
Okay,
South
okay.
Carolina. That is
What's
not
it?
where the crime happened. I don't want to necessarily say where the crime happened because it happened over 10 years ago. But you know what I mean? Like you don't want to. I don't want to be disrespectful to the victims and bring a. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like, so,
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough.
yeah, I don't want
That's
to be
cool.
just because I don't want them to feel like I'm profiting, trying to profit off.
No,
So
yeah, no,
I
that's
try to be.
understandable. Yeah. Whatever you don't want to say, you don't gotta say.
Yeah.
Trust
So
me.
I
All
mean,
right,
it ain't
so
hard if it ain't hard, but I won't make it too easy.
all right, a little search here and there.
Yeah.
So how was your childhood growing up in Charleston?
So I actually did not grow up in Charleston. I grew up in Germany. My dad is Air Force, so I did not move to America until I was like 13. So
Ah,
yeah, so
wait,
I
were you born in Germany?
no, I was born here in Charleston because my parents are from Charleston.
Okay.
But my dad, of course, they wanted a better life, so military it is.
Okay, so you're a military baby.
So I was in England, I was in Germany, then we were in New Jersey, and then we moved back here to Charleston. But so the bulk of like my formative years, I was living in Europe. And truth, I didn't even know I was black until seventh grade. Like,
Really?
yeah, because when you're like on a military base as a kid, like y'all don't, like we don't talk about that. Like we're all together on a military base, and you're super patriotic, super conservative, in a bubble.
So you didn't feel no racism?
I didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't know. Looking back now, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, the racism is always there.
But we didn't know. I
Innocent.
yeah. But now I'm like,
Innocent.
oh, y'all was racist.
Yeah, it'd be like that when you think back on life at some moments. You're like, damn, that was really racist.
Because I didn't understand why I couldn't go to the sleepovers, and all my little friends could. But my mom was like, I didn't understand. And I was just like, you're so mean. Da, da, da. But I get it.
Yeah.
She wasn't about to let me go.
Yeah, that's like
We in a
yeah.
whole other country. She wasn't about to
No,
play that.
hey, black folks not playing that.
Yeah, she wasn't playing
We don't
that.
play that.
She wasn't playing that. When I got some black friends though, I was able to spend the night. So
Oh, for sure.
yeah.
You more comfortable. But so you grew up with mom and dad.
Yeah. They're still married to this day.
All right, you graduated high school?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So after high school,
Went to
when did you
college.
start? You went to college. Okay.
I went to University of South Carolina. Did not finish, just because school ain't for me. like I'm just gonna keep it a buck. School is not for me.
Yes, it's
I
not
have
for everybody.
started and tried to finish my degree. Maybe one day. It
What were
ain't
you
for
trying
me.
to get a degree in?
At this present moment, my passion is mental health. So if I were to get a degree, it's because I want to be a psychiatrist because we don't have that in the black community. And I feel like a lot of the things that I went through could have been avoided if mental health was not taboo to talk about.
Right.
Because you don't choose to rob a bank instead of asking your parents for rent money if everything is right up here, you know?
That is true. That is true.
So, and I'm glad I went to prison because I was able to get these, because I always felt different. But like I didn't know, but to get my mental health fit, like, oh, okay, now, all right, now I'm on a track where like, no, you got bipolar. So some days you're gonna be here, some days you're gonna be here. You just got to learn how to rock with it.
Right. No, sometimes prison is not a bad thing. Sometimes it helps people, like you said, mentally. Sometimes it help you grow up. You know.
I needed it. I needed it.
Yeah.
I need to be humbled. I thought, because again, like, not saying I didn't not saying I didn't really know struggle, you know. So I needed something to like,
Right.
hey girl, you about to, hey girl, no ma'am, because they saw that black girl and they were like, oh, we don't care who your parents are or what kind of lawyer they got.
You out of there. You out of there.
You thought you was gonna work right? You thought you was gonna work at a bank? Oh, girl, no, not you, not your kind.
Hey, so when did you first start working at a bank?
When I was 21. So, because I had my baby at 20 and tried to do school, like I said, wasn't for me. So I stayed in the area, and 21, got the job at the bank. Was like, finally, because it was like, yes, finally, can take care of this baby, can, you know. So it was a good start. Somewhere along the way, though, somewhere along the way, it went awry. It went awry.
Do you think because you was learning so much about the system and you were seeing people coming in and getting money out?
What happened was I was working at a call center, and then from working at the call center, I don't know why I did it. Again, mental health. I quit the call center job, because I was burnt out, and I quit it without having another job. So in that span, I didn't, bills was piling up. So when I went back to the bank, but this time as a teller, the pay was lower. So I still had to deal with the foolishness from not having a job for them in between. So, it was rough, and I was a single mom, and I had a homeboy that was in my ear like, well, hey, we could do it. And I was like, nah. But then when them bills start coming, that eviction notice pops up. You like, hey, so what did you say? Just hypothetically.
Be real.
Right. And so like hypothetically, like just hypothetically, if we were, and all it takes is a seed. All it takes is one seed.
Definitely.
Like,
so, let me think. What was the first scam that you were doing at the bank? I don't want to call it like that, but
no,
I don't know the
that's
word.
what it is. Yeah, no, that's
okay.
what it was. So the first thing that we tried was me stealing information, but everybody should be happy about this. Fraud detection is so good, we were not successful. So people should be happy about that. We were not successful. There was a lot, like, how you got to try before you succeed. There was a lot of crimes that we weren't succeeding at before we did succeed. Before we succeeded with the robbery. So there was some in between before we finally popped off. So
trial and error.
Yeah. Like I said, the fraud detection is really good. Like that. So when I was doing fraud, it was at another bank. So I was, just criming here.
So, but the fraud started first.
So with him, it started fraud, and then we did a robbery, and then that ended how that ended, and there was a year span that I didn't hear anything. So I was like, I'm just gonna die with this. I'm just gonna die with this secret.
Okay.
So then I got another job at another bank, and then I was doing my own finessing, and I was using Bitcoin, but I was dumb. I remember because you keep hitting these licks and you keep getting, and you don't get caught. So I remember I was getting comfortable. So I stopped using my Tor browser. I stopped using the VPN, and my fatal mistake, I used Coinbase because it was quick. I wanted it quick, and for whatever reason, and instead of going through the wallets that I had normally had, I used Coinbase.
All right, hold on. Stay right there. Remember that, because we're going to get to that. Because I do want to know about this Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But take us to the first successful fraud.
The first, that was on my own. That was on my own.
Okay.
So
that's like taking people information.
Yeah. I'm not going to say how I did it because.
Gotcha.
I would, but now, however, if a bank wants to reach out to ask me how I did it, because I know for a fact the way I did it is still a loophole to this day, that if somebody were to do what I did, they could successfully do what I did. Okay. Like, I know
Kierra
that. I know for a fact.
Kierra got methods.
Yeah, because I'm neurodivergent. So like my brain is always, well, what if we did this? Well, what if I ran this report? Because that was what I did. I became a beast with like running Excels and reports. And I was like, wait, y'all got a report for this? So I was like, well, what else do y'all have a report for? And then I would put the filters on. So I would find the accounts that I had specific criteria that I was looking for when I would pull the report, when I would do the reports. And like I said, I know for a fact these criteria, unless they change, I doubt they have, these criteria are still there. And those would be the ones that I would hit because there's a reason why. Like,
Bank of America, y'all reach out to her.
No,
give her a job in the hacking department.
Yeah, like and I will say I only hit accounts that had over 100K. So I know we're like, oh, you were stealing from poor people. No, I'm Robin Hood. I'm not gonna take. I'm only taking I'm taking from people that I already have. Like that.
And the money is insured.
Me personally. Yeah, like I was big on I'm not about you. I'm not taking from nobody that ain't got it. Like that.
Right. I mean, they still get the money back though.
Right. And I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure they got the money back. I don't even know if some of them are even alive. So,
So, hey, look, so tell me this. You do your first scam, it goes successful. How did you feel?
Oh, shit.
You got some money.
I thought it was a fluke. Yeah, I thought it was a fluke. And I had gotten so good with the finesse that because there were certain things that had to have a manager approval. I had gotten so good with the finesse. My manager's name is on some of the shit that I did.
Whoa.
And he didn't even know. He had no idea. Because like I said, who is going to suspect that I'm doing stuff?
Right.
That's why I was able to, who is going to suspect? So whenever I'd be like, hey, can you sign this? Yeah. Because I was also a good employee too. So.
Did you blow the money? The first?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that money is long. I was 22. I bought unnecessary. I remember I bought a rice cooker. I bought a Dyson vacuum. I bought just so much unnecessary things that did not need to be bought. I furnished my whole apartment. I remember because we were having homecoming, and my friends, they came to because I just moved, because I was in a 1-bedroom, and I moved to a 2-bedroom next door, like moved apartments, and I furnished it, and they walked in, they was like, "You're a teller?"
You're supposed to make like, about 14 hours.
Right. They was like, hold up, we might need to work at, what bank you work at? And I was like, no, I'm just good with investments.
Just lying.
They're like, how are you? And like, they were like, well, whatever. And then, cause they knew my parents kind of had money. So they kind of like, well,
it don't look out the norm.
Right. Like now my mama, she knew, she was like, something ain't right. Something ain't right. She was like, something ain't right. Cause I know the money we give you. I know where you work. Something ain't right. She was like, just how are you financially stable? Because I know you don't know how to manage money. So something
the opposite of what you told your friends.
Right. She was just like, She was like, you don't know how to manage money. I know you. So how are your bills being paid? How you go from being struggling, asking us for money, to now, okay. She was like, okay. I'm
moving on up like the Jetsons.
Right. And I was like, well, no, I'm doing side hustles, which is true because I have always had a side hustle. Like I've been trying to have an online business since 2008. So, it made, I was able to finesse things that it would be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense. And like I said, you would not think I'm doing it. I just am not. My mama just knows me. And she knows I'm slick and sneaky. So she was like, she doing something. I can't. She had no idea it was that.
Can't put my finger on it, but she doing something.
Right. She probably thought I was stripping or something.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. She had no idea.
All right. So you scam. You scam. You finessing the bank. You finessing, and then your buddy puts in your ear that you know.
So these are two separate things. Me doing my finesse was after the robbery. Now, and because there's a reason why I had to still finesse after the robbery. I only got $3,000.
Okay, yeah. Let's take us to the robbery. Yeah. First of all, take us to the planning of the bank robbery.
Yeah. So I'm working at the bank, and the bank that I was working at, people would get cash. Like big. I don't know why they do armored trucks now.
Right.
Because of me. Now they do. But they would come in and get like 100K in cash. Like they would just, so I hit him up. I was like, hey, so what would happen was we would talk and I would give him everything. Like I would tell him everything. Cause we realized we probably can't rob the bank. Cause that's like, probably we don't want to do that.
Right.
That's not a good idea. I said, but these people they get like 60K, blah, blah, blah. I was like, like now recounting this and I'm like mature and like more healed. This is crazy. Like, this is crazy that I was thinking like this. Like now I'm telling the story like, oh my God. Like, wow. Just wow. But yeah, I told him, I was like, yeah, we can get them or what have you. So I did that. And I said, hey, so this people, they got 107K. They have 107,000. You want to do what's up? Like, do you want to hit this? And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, well, I mean, it's a lot. So he did it. He ends up doing it. Now, mind you, I'm using my cell phone. My cell phone.
Bad idea.
To text him. So even if I didn't snitch on myself, which I did, location pings, like it wasn't hard to find. Like we were not thinking. It wasn't hard to find me. Like location pings, I'm texting.
So your friend robbed basically a regular person that came in to take out money.
Yeah.
He caught him slipping somewhere outside.
No, he wasn't slipping because they got into a shootout. He wasn't slipping.
Oh, the guy he actually robbed was shooting back?
Well, because of course he had a gun. Because he had 100K in cash because he had to take it to the business because that was the cash for the business for their for their registers and stuff. Gotcha. So he's told me many times what his plan was, but apparently there was some other guy that was not supposed to originally be involved that got involved and screwed the whole thing up. He also used his car, so. That wasn't
his
supposed to
personal car?
His car registered to him in his name. He used his car. And I was like, yo, what? I was like, I know you're not dumb. He was like, man, it just didn't go right. Cause when we met up, like, cause when this whole thing went down, cause there was a shootout, the cops came to the bank and was like, there's been a robbery. And I'm like, oh shit.
And you was at work that day?
Yeah.
All right, so hold on. Basically, you called your buddy.
Because I packed the cash myself. I packed the cash. Because what would happen is in the morning we would get cash orders. And I, being a teller, I'm the one that did. So I packed the cash myself. And I was like, oh, this is going to be me. Oh, I'm
yeah, feeling good. Like, I'm finna get this.
Yeah, so I'm hitting him up, taking pictures and shit. Like, hey, and he's like, okay, all right. So
he came on up there, and he robbed him outside the bank.
Yeah. It was off. He followed him, and then they got into because the guy was like, and like apparently it didn't go the way it was supposed to go. Clearly, because why was you using your car? Like what? Right. Like why?
But he did get away with the money.
Yes, he did, but he did not get away. Clearly, he did get away with the money. The guy that was with him apparently snitched because he got caught first, and because I didn't get caught for a whole year later, like a whole year. I'm thinking because I saw him on the news and I was like, well, I ain't saying nothing. Okay. I did tell my best friend.
He gave you 3,000, and this is when y'all met up in a different state, right?
In Atlanta. Yep. In
Atlanta. Okay. Y'all went to Atlanta, met up. He gave you the 3 racks.
He pulled up in a brand new BMW as well. So I was like, I ain't say nothing. I was just
that looked like my money.
Right. I was like, you know what? It is what it is. Karma gonna get you, and karma has him because he won't get out until 20. He got 21 years. I want to say.
Okay.
So, because there was a shootout.
And this happened back in 2010 or 2013.
2013. Yeah, 2013. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
2013.
2013. Yep. And so like I didn't get caught. I thought I was good.
So he gave you the 3,000, but he was telling you, I had somebody else with me helping me do this, so he had to split the money.
He told me the whole story, and I was like, yo, you know what? I was broke, so I was a little, damn, I wish I had more than 3,000. But I was like, you know what? Just I'm good. I'll take it. Just, y'all. Because I got scared at that point. I was like, I don't want no parts. I
So
don't want no parts of this.
after you get the money, you start finessing. Wait, did you stay at that same bank after that robbery?
I got fired from that bank. Not because I got fired from that bank because my drawer was short. And I actually hadn't even I actually was not even doing anything crazy that time. I was like,
Wow.
oh, damn. Yeah, like but I absolutely deserved to get fired. I
think that was probably karma.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's why I wasn't mad. I was like, you know what? It is what it is. I'll walk. I'll take that.
I feel that.
Yeah. So,
So you got fired from that bank. You go to another bank and you continue finessing?
I didn't start out finessing.
Okay.
I did not start out finessing. I started out because I was scared. I was terrified. I was scared. I was like, oh no. But then eventually when I started seeing stuff, and then I thought I was really smart. Because like I said, I was running the reports and I was going in my head all of the possible scenarios. Now, I will say, if I would have not gotten greedy and not started messing with the Bitcoin, I would not have gotten caught.
Okay, so you was finessing and you was taking the money and buying Bitcoin in 2013.
Yeah, so I started finessing, and then I ran out of those types of accounts. So I had to figure out another way because that list ran dry.
Okay.
I had finessed.
Who put you on to the Bitcoin? How did you know about Bitcoin in 2013?
I did that myself.
Just research?
Yep. Because remember I said I've been doing online business since 2008. So I've been in that world. Like I always knew that I was going to be a millionaire off the internet since 2008. I remember because school was not for me. So I remember I was sitting in my apartment, the student apartment. And I was like, my rent was due and it was like $400. It was like $400. Crazy. And I was like, on my computer, I was like, I'm going to figure out how to do this. I'm going to figure this out. I didn't figure it out then, but I have figured it out now.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I've always been on the internet playing around. Like I said, 2008, I always said, I'm going to be a millionaire off the internet. I always said that. And I didn't tell people because in 2008, you got to think back to 2008. Everybody was like, wait, girl, bye. Girl, bye.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even know back then you can get paid off the internet. So you was ahead.
I knew. Because like I just knew, I always felt like I was destined to greatness. Didn't know I had to go to prison for it, but
it's all good. So you get the Bitcoin, you finessing the Bitcoin. When do you get contacted about the robbery that happened?
So a year later. No, a year and a half later.
A year and a half later.
A year and a half later. So the robbery happened July 2013. I got arrested November 2014. And at that point, and at this point, I had gotten good with my finessing. I had gone to another bank job, this time in the fraud department. Was not finessing there. I actually liked that job and I wanted to learn. I wasn't, because I wanted to kind of, like a criminal wants to be like, so what was I outsmarting? Like what, like I just wanted to know.
Getting the information.
Yeah, because I was in the fraud department and it was cool. It was a great learning experience. But that was when I got arrested. That weekend, it was a Monday. And I remember it was Veterans Day weekend because I had to stay in there longer because of the holiday and they didn't have the bond because I couldn't get bonded out. So that weekend, my cousin came and was like, oh, let's go out. We went out. We got in a car crash, totaled the car, and we ended up in the hospital. So that Monday when I got arrested, I was high off muscle relaxers. I had no idea what was going on. I was like, what? They're like, they're like, hey, are you Kierra? I'm like, yeah, hey, yeah. So we're here in regards to my co-defendant's name, and I'm like, fuck.
You already know what time it is.
I'm like, oh, you're under arrest for armed robbery.
How
I
did you
don't
feel?
know. I was like, I don't know nothing about no armed. I was like, whoa, I don't know nothing about no armed robbery. I don't know. They're like, no, we got an arrest warrant. Like, this ain't no questioning. This ain't no, like, you're under. I'm like, oh, whoa, no, They're like, no.
You was
I
at the
thought I
house
could
by
negotiate
yourself?
my way out of it. Yeah. Well, because like I had the car accident. So that day I had stayed home I had called out of work. Apparently they had been going all over the city to my jobs trying to find me.
Oh man.
So luckily I had I don't know if the car crash was a blessing, but luckily I didn't have to be carried out in my job in handcuffs.
Yeah, because that's a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
So they arrest you. They take you down. You got to go to an interrogation room.
Spilled
You
my
got to
guts.
talk about the
Spilled my
situation.
guts.
You spilled the
Spilled my
beans.
guts. It's like, because they told me, I didn't know, again, naive. I didn't know cops could lie to you. They were like, all right, just tell us what happened. We'll get you home. You can go pick up your son, because at that point my son was at school, and I was like, I'm freaking out because it's like 4 o'clock. I had to pick him up at 5:30. I'm like, yo, I got to get my son. And I didn't, because I memorized, this is why I memorized numbers. I didn't have my cousin's number memorized. So I had to go in my phone to get it. But he had my phone and was like, well, what's your password? And I had to give it to him because I need the number, because I got to get my kid picked up. And at that point, you got consent to look at my phone.
Yep.
I got 3 charges off of that.
Dang. Oh, because they went through the text messages and the phone records. Dang.
Mm-hmm.
So
and there was nothing I could do, because like I had to call my cousin. My son had to get picked up, and I was afraid to call my parents because I still was thinking I could talk my way out of it. So
you should have called mom and dad.
That should have been my first call. That should have been my first call.
For sure.
But I thought I could finesse my way out. No, you can't finesse your way out of an armed robbery charge.
Well, so they bringing you in to talk about the armed robbery, but you started telling them about the other finessing that you.
No, I didn't know. I didn't tell them about that. They went through my phone and they were like, "Oh, well, because we were dummies. We had information, pictures, and stuff. I don't know, but this was from like a year, because I don't delete text messages. Like that's always been a thing. So this was from a year and a half prior, because iPhone." It's not. It don't. So they scroll. They. And I was like,
Was you nervous in there? You was kind of scared.
Yeah, I was crying. I was crying. Yeah, I was boo-hoo crying. Yeah, I was like, what y'all need to know? I started confessing to stuff. I was like, and then they're like, ma'am, you are only here for the armed robbery. That is all we care about. We can talk about the other stuff later. I don't think there's charges for when you were 15, but we can talk about that later. He's like, but right now, can we focus on the crime that you're here for? Please stop confessing to crime.
No, that's funny.
Basically, stop confessing. Please stop confessing to crimes that are not related to the crime we are interrogating you for.
So, fast forward a little bit. You get locked up. You get a bond.
Mm-hmm.
You bond.
It was only $20,000. It wasn't. That's how I knew.
Okay.
They knew I wouldn't. They knew it was only $20,000. $20K for an armed robbery, unheard of.
Right.
Unheard of.
Yeah.
Like,
so you bond out. So you fighting the case on the street? You taking it to trial or?
No, my parents got a lawyer. So I got out on house arrest. I was on house arrest for a year because my parents got me such a good lawyer. That year of house arrest was credit towards time. So I didn't have to serve as much time to get parole. So that was why I only was able. That's why technically I did 2.5 years inside of a 15-year sentence. And like when you break down because like it was a 15-year sentence, but the way South Carolina does it is it's non-violent, so you only have to do half of that time anyway, and then you get parole when you get through a third of that time. So if I wouldn't have made parole, I was only going to do like 7.5. But I knew when I stepped out that courtroom, I was making parole. And they were like, "Oh, you're not gonna make parole. Nobody makes parole their first time." I was like, "No, y'all don't make parole your first time." I sure did make it.
Yeah, you got to speak it into existence.
I sure did. And because my thought process was as soon as I hit that prison, I am signing up for every single program. I did. I got a horticulture, stuff I don't even need. I got a horticulture certification. I got a paralegal certification. I am certified to teach 7 habits of highly effective people. I got a job readiness certification. A work key certification. I was working in the law library. I was teaching people. I was a teacher, so I was helping women get their GEDs. Like I made sure I was like, if I have to go away from my son for dumb stuff, for dumb decisions, then I'm gonna make sure that this time was not in vain. Because I said, how dare I be away from my family and I'm just sitting up in here doing nothing, while they have to pull to work to take care of what I did. They got to pull to work out there to take care of what I did, and I'm just gonna sit in here and fight and do nothing. I was like, I can't disrespect my family like that. I've done enough.
Yeah, I definitely feel that. uh, how did you feel when the judge gave you that time?
Well, I had options. So we were, like I said, I had a lawyer. So like my lawyer was negotiating with the prosecutor. The prosecutor, his big thing was he was willing to, he wanted me to go to jail. Like he wanted me to do time, because his thing was, had it not been for you, none of this would have happened.
Right,
He's right.
Right, you like the
Yeah,
ringleader.
he's absolutely right. So I didn't think it then. Like I was pissed. I was like, I didn't even rob anybody. Da, 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 da. But like, no, I didn't rob. But
So he give you the time. How did your parents feel?
well, my dad. So we were negotiating, and she was like, all right, so we got two options. You can do 10 years for armed robbery, or you can do 15 for strong armed robbery. So of course I was like, oh, the 10. My dad's he said 10's and he said, is the 10 violent? And she said yes. He said, do the 15. He was like, he was like, no. He said, I'm gonna break it down to you. He said, if you get a violent charge, it is going to ruin your life. He said, not saying that this isn't, but if you get a violent charge, they are less likely to be willing to work with you than if you take this nonviolent. And also, if I would have taken the 10 years in South Carolina, 10 years and violent charges are 85%. You have to do 85% of that time. No
So
parole.
you did 8.5 years.
And my dad had the foresight to see she's probably gonna get parole because we're gonna get a good lawyer. She's already got this year of house arrest. So my dad was able to be like, I get it, I understand. We're gonna do the 15. And I'm so glad my dad. Because
Smart man.
yeah.
Smart
My
man.
parents are, man. I owe them. That is also a reason why I want to be a millionaire, because I want to retire them. Like I owe them. My parents. I owe my parents everything. Like I just really want to pay them back for everything I did for. I just want them to relax, because y'all have worked so much. Like y'all have worked so much for me. Let me take care of you, please.
Just stay focused and stay grinding. You'll get there.
That's the plan.
So take us to your first time in prison, from like when you getting transferred to you getting your assigned cell, or you in the dorm.
Okay, yeah. So I had my court date. So I don't know if you remember, but back in 2015 in Columbia, you know what? It is what it is. It is what it is. The case is, I said the city. It is what it is. The case is over. I don't care anymore. So back in 2015 in Columbia, I think they called it like 1,000-year flood, because I was supposed to go to prison at the beginning of October, but that flood hit pushed me back to the end of October. So I got an extra month home. So I was thankful for that. And I was actually hoping it was a crazy mind. Can people cuss on your podcast?
I don't care what you do.
Okay. It was a mind fuck sitting at home, because my favorite TV show was American Horror Story at the time. And I remember, because it was the hotel one at that time. And I remember I was like, I will not be able to watch this episode, because this date I'm going to be in prison. Mm-hmm. Because like I knew the day I was going to court, but the flood hit. So it's a mind fuck when you are sitting knowing you're supposed to be in prison watching this TV show, when a week prior you was like, I'm going to be in prison. And now I'm sitting here watching this TV show. I'm supposed to be in prison right now. And I don't know when I'm going to go to prison, because courts are closed because it's flood. And then I eventually did get the court date, went to court. And I remember they put me in the holding cell. And I remember she cut off my ankle monitor, put me in the holding cell. And I was in that holding cell. I don't know. It felt like hours. It probably wasn't, but it felt like hours. And there was nothing I could do. That's when it hit me.
That's when it hit.
I'm in this holding cell, this dark, no windows. I'm just sitting here at the mercy of whoever. And I'm just...
Right, anything goes.
And I'm like, I will not be able to sleep in my own bed for at least 3 years. And it's not even a guarantee that I'm going to make parole. It was... Yeah, you go through some mental, yeah. And I had to have a heart-to-heart with myself at that point. Like, what you gonna do, Kierra?
Yeah,
what you gonna do?
To all the young people watching, you don't want to go down that road.
Because Right. I consider myself lucky. I could have, if my co-defendant would have shot that man and killed him, I would have been going down for murder.
Murder.
And this, we might not be having this conversation right now, because South Carolina, hands of one are the hands of all, which is why I got charged with armed robbery. Because if you look at the statute of armed robbery in South Carolina, it says I didn't commit. I technically speaking, I did not commit armed robbery, but in South Carolina, you was involved. So you get that armed robbery charge. That's why there's so many women sitting in prison right now with an armed robbery charge, because they got caught up with a dumb. Yeah, they got caught up, and
so some of them be getaway drivers,
but some of them just
be like that.
You fault. They truly was fault. Like the way the law is in South Carolina is so crazy that you can meet somebody on Tinder. He picks you up. Oh, I'm about to stop to the gas station real quick to, get a cigarette. Oh, okay. He robs somebody in the gas station. Comes to the car.
Accessory.
Yep. Not even accessory. You getting the same charge.
You getting the same charge.
And if the person that he robbed died, guess what? Murder.
You getting that murder. Yep.
Yeah, there are a lot of girls, a lot of women, moms, mothers in that same situation.
What was the worst thing about prison? What was the worst part for you in prison?
Lack of control. Like the lack of control of being able to take care of my son, the lack of control of being able to, just the lack of control. Like you have to, I became very strong mentally, because what else are you going to do?
Right.
Like what else are you going to do?
It's all the mental game.
Right. Like because when you first get there, you don't go directly to the prison. You go to the plate. You go to like it's called receiving. So they break you down. Like you go to a room, no TV, no lotion, no. When I tell you it was all ashy and crusty, you can only take 2 showers a week. They don't care if you got your period.
Damn.
2 showers a week. Period. Like that's it. Like they don't care. And you're locked in a room for 23 hours. You and your roommate. And for 23 hours, sometimes there'll be 3 to a room. You get 1 hour a rec, but it's a caged. And that's 6 weeks. So that's when you first get to prison, because they want to. And at that point, I was like, I'm good. Like, I am good. I will never, like, y'all, I learned my lesson. Like, y'all can come get me. I was like, y'all can come, I'm good here. Like, there's literally nothing to do but sit with your thoughts or read. I think I read about 100 books in that time span, because there's nothing to do. And when you first get there, everybody just sleeps. Because your body just, like, your nervous system, everybody just sleeps. But then at a certain point, can't sleep there ain't no more sleep. Like you can, your body's like, all right, we're good now. You might get a week of being able to sleep, but after that, that's because the lights go off at 5 o'clock in the morning. Boop, big bright lights, big bright fluorescents, 5 o'clock in the morning.
You back up. So by you having like not a lot of time, but still a lot of time, but not a lot of time, but you're in the jail with women who got maybe life. Mm-hmm. Are you around lifers?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. Honestly, the first person I met in my life that I actually could look at and say that's a Christian was a woman that had life in prison for killing her husband. Wow. And that was crazy to me, because it was like, you represent the values of Jesus and God more so than these people that be out here on the street.
Yeah.
And
be like that.
Yeah. And it wasn't even an act. She knew she was never going home. She wasn't getting parole. That was just truly who she was. And there's quite a few of them. And I remember because like I said, when I got to that prison, I said, I am doing what I got to do to get home. So I applied to be placed on the honor dorm for the people that, like, we're not trying to be caught up with what y'all got going on. So I got placed on the honor dorm, and I remember it was an old black lady. She was like, hey, because she just was like, I need to talk to you, because I don't know what happened, but I know you ain't supposed to be. Yeah, she was like, she was like, so come in. She was like, come here, baby, come here. So she took me under her wing, and I truly appreciate. And it was a few of the older lifers that got me through and had me, like they made sure. Yeah, they made sure. They was like, nah, she she ain't one of these, because there'd be a lot of them that would be in and out, in and out. Like there are a few, I could say about at least 20 that would leave and come back at least 3 times before I even got to go home once.
Damn.
Yeah, and I'm like, y'all, but the recidivism rate is 75%.
For coming back, right?
Yeah, 75%.
Don't go back.
Go back.
Oh, dang.
The recidivism rate is 75%.
I'm telling you, don't go back. You don't go back.
You ain't got to worry. But you are more likely to go back than you are to stay out.
Wow, that's crazy.
And
you get institutionalized.
That, and then there's just there's really no safety nets when you get. I had my family, and also mentally, like when I went in, like I just was like, this ain't. Do your time.
This ain't your life.
Yeah, do it. And I tried to shine that light everywhere. Because, like, everybody was so cool. I had no issues. At all. Like, everybody was looking out for me because just, I'm not that person. And I just was very open. They were like, well, what are you here for? And I told them. Because, it is what it is. I lay my bed. I will lie in it.
This is a question I want to ask. Is women prison, like, violent? Like, not really, is it? Okay, not no stabbings and shit.
Oh my God! I mean, this is just South Carolina. I don't know other states. I don't know how other states are, but this was just South Carolina.
Okay.
So, but it was like an adult daycare.
So your last day of prison, what was going through your mind?
I didn't know it was my last day because I went home on parole. So when you get parole, they got to go check your house and all that. I got paroled. My parole hearing was January 10th. I went home January 18th. Do you know normally it takes a month? When I tell you my ancestors don't play about me, they do not play. Like, and it was a snow day. I was actually supposed to leave the day before, but it snowed, so it got delayed. And I remember that day, I was pissed. I was crying. I was like, Daddy, I want to come home. Like, they said I could go. He was like, I know. He was like, you made it this far. You know you're going home. I was like, but I'm ready to go. And like, I remember crying. And then they said, Kierra, please come to the front desk. So I go and I'm like, what's up? They're like, oh, here's your pink papers. Because that's what you call it when you leave. It's called pink papers. So When you leave, you get your pink. They're like, here's your pink. And I was like, me? And they're like, yep. So I got my pink.
Jumping for joy.
Yep. And I told my roommate, I told my friend there, because we'd already because you divvy out your stuff. Because like I wouldn't take none of that stuff home. So
I was just going to ask you that. Did you take something?
I gave I ain't take none of that. I was like, y'all can have all of this. I don't want none of this. So I divvied up my food, everything. Like we had already established once I made parole, I had already established kind of like a will.
A will, yeah.
Like you get this, you get this, you get this.
Yeah.
So like I had my roommate, I was like, hey, here, so divvy this out to everybody. And like everybody knew what they were supposed to be getting. So we already had that planned out. But I remember when I made parole, everybody that went with me, we all made it. So, but like I said, everybody kind of, because like I was talking about, like I'm about to go home for parole. I'm excited. And of course, I'm pretty sure there were haters that were like, she ain't gonna get it. She ain't gonna. I'm sure there were.
Especially somebody that got 10 years, 15 years.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Well, no, those weren't the ones. Those were
no. Okay, it was the opposite.
It's those weren't the ones because they're cool. They understand. They like you get to a point. Home. Yeah, you get to a point where you just like, it is what it is. You don't get, what I'm saying? Like, of course there are some bitters, but you get to a point where you just like, it is what it is. I'm here. It be the ones that have like 18 months.
Okay.
Like just a little, why are you mad? You here for a drug charge. Like, what are you mad at? Why are you mad? You here because you like to smoke meth. Why are you mad? You about to go home.
You finna go home.
Why do you care? Like, why do you care? Those were the ones that would like, me. But of course they wouldn't say it to me. Like, they wouldn't say it to me. Cause like nobody could say anything bad about me because if you ask me for something, I'm gonna give it, like, I got it. And of course, I probably got taken advantage of because, it was called canteen. You go get your food. My parents, of course, gave me money every week. I probably got taken advantage of, but I didn't care because, like I said, how I feel about money. Like, I'll always get more. Like, if you need it that bad, go ahead. I
No,
don't.
I could tell you got a good soul.
It's like I just, like I just gave, and I just feel like when you give, it comes back. So I just was like,
Ten
it
four.
is right. It is what it is. I'm like, I'm about to go home anyway. So I'm not.
Yes,
What
for
I look
sure.
like tripping over this prison stuff? Like this is not my life. So I would be in my room watching TV, reading, minding my business.
So you do your time, you come home. What's next? You start a business.
So yeah, because like I said, being a business owner has always been like in the background. I've started so many. Um, so I actually did get a job. And then I started what my current business is now, Connect Support Solution, but it started as something else. But as a business owner, like it evolves as you like,
Right, right.
it kind of evolves to where now I sell digital products like ebooks and workbooks for help moms level up and like cut through the bullshit because I've been through so much. Not even just the prison. After prison, I was in an abusive relationship. so, so it was from one prison to another, basically.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
So I that's the
You ever
story for
thought
that.
about writing a book?
Yeah, but I'd like to get a ghostwriter, you
A
know,
ghostwriter? What you mean?
to like just tell my story.
Oh,
So
okay,
like
okay.
I just tell, you know what I'm saying? Because like they would know what questions to ask. Because I would like to just kind of talk
You know you
about
can
it.
use AI, chat GPT.
I could, yeah.
Yeah, just look into it. But tell the people where they can find you at and find your business at.
Yeah, yeah. So my business is I'm gonna it's called Bossify 414.
Hmm.
But it's on currently my products that I have. It's bossify414.gumroad.com and it's got my two 30-day journals. The first one's called Leave Him Sis, about how to leave a toxic relationship because
Okay.
I know how to do that. I did it. And then the second one is called Get Your Coin Sis, and it's about how to start a sales career because again, I did that. I did that. And I'm big on I only talk about stuff I know about. Like I only talk about stuff I know about. So because I did it, I can tell you how to do it. I am not going to ever write something that I have never done before because that's crazy. That's
Right.
crazy to
Yeah.
me.
No. Real recognize real.
Right. So,
So
and
yeah,
that's all. I
you
just
got
want to help moms. I just want to help black moms. All
black
moms, but
moms.
specifically black moms.
Yeah, because black women got it rough out here. Y'all got it rough. Uh, do you have anything else you want to let the people know?
If you're a felon, that don't stop nothing. Don't let them people make you feel like you ain't worth it. You won't get a good job. I have had 2 6-figure tech jobs with these felonies. Don't let these people tell you that a felony stops your life. It may be a little bit harder, but when you know, and that's when you gotta talk to yourself. You know when you on that fuck shit and you gonna keep going back. You know. So for those of you that actually are trying to turn over a new leaf, do not let that felony stop you. But you have to be ready to be like, I don't want this life. This ain't the life I want. And the universe is gonna ask you how bad. The universe is gonna ask you how bad because it's not gonna be easy. But once you get over that first hurdle and you know how to do it, all them other hurdles are like, oh well, I already know how to do it. I just gotta kind of switch it. But a felony is not gonna stop you. Don't let that felony stop you. You could, that felony is not gonna stop you. Don't let that.
All right, y'all heard it here. Thank you, Kierra, for clocking in with us. It's your boy Natty Rob on this job, and I'm clocking out.